of you want to do things right? To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you want to truly succeed in attaining all in that which is your need? To be heard by the real answerer of all deeds, the true hero of all whom pleads. Who of you really want to bow down to the true King of Kings commanding the crown? To worship the one that ever rules alone, commanding everything of creation from the seat of its throne.
With this show, man, this peace, another blessing again be within about your presence.
Yeah. While we making our break, I'd like to thank one of our runners, man. We have been invited to San Diego and Los Angeles. So that's about 9 million more
Our runner is,
for the deluded brother.
Yes, well,
You know.
for the deluded world right now, those of us in the deluded world, the Lord is truly real and it's doing what it's going to do, getting it out there and
and it's all good. So, you know, that's why we got to let that brother know we're not shutting down and we're not calling you to Islam. We're calling you to Allah. I'm not a follower in Islam. I'm a follower of Allah. You know, I'm a follower of its word, its truth. And that goes above the religion itself.
And, you know, getting back on to our conversation. If people, Muslims, now I'm talking about the Muslims, was to ever take and look in that Bible in Revelation, not in Revelation, but Malachi, about Elijah, and really sit back and think about how Elijah really didn't teach them Islam.
No, he didn't.
He did not make the effort of trying to teach them Islam. Allah said clearly that what Elijah's job was going to be. But mankind think that a servant of Allah is supposed to serve them. When they get past that and know that ain't nobody here to serve you, Allah serve you all the time. But if Allah didn't serve you, wouldn't exist. So Allah is the server. It don't send its messenger to serve you. You're already being served, you little greedy heifers. The whole thing is, if they look into this and stop looking for someone to say something out of their mouth, but say, oh, they said Malachi, let me read, let me look for myself. Then they'll have more conviction in what they call themselves standing for. You know, it's a shame that in this day and time, my children would not have even known anything about Elijah if we didn't talk about Elijah. The children, African-American children, go to school and know nothing about Elijah, but they know about every damn African-American that have been
negative things that his demonic son brought out that people want to honor because he was taking them to politics and kissing the Pope's hand and being able to bump elbows with the presidents and stuff like that. They're to take us down. The very same people who didn't even say, oh, he's dead when he passed on.
But no, it even gets deeper than that because the Caucasian always have his hands and stuff too. My whole thing is, now in elementary school in the African American community, they get to know about Malcolm. But nobody go back into the history of Malcolm.
Right.
It's like all of a sudden Malcolm was asleep and woke up just like 3 months before he was assassinated and became this great person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Forget Malcolm history.
Right.
And see, because if they went into Malcolm history, they'll know that Allah sent Elijah. Malcolm was nothing without Allah sending Elijah to him. And that's how he rose to become this great figure that they use now to keep our children separated in their mind against another person that was of importance to their lives. Because see, the thing that people don't understand is that Elijah, by Allah's will, was important to those who live this day and time. Elijah changed the game. Mountain didn't change no game.
Right.
You know, the respect that they get now more than they had before was because of Elijah. Because their parents learned how to stand up and say no. You know? And and start learning how to crawl. They ain't never get to the walking part, you know, but because they erased that from our history. But Allah did as it said it would do when it spoke about in Malachi, the same that Allah spoke about in the Holy Quran about replacing the people to uphold the covenant in this day and time. It said new people. You know what I'm saying? So my whole thing is, these people think we chasing behind these Arabs and want to be their new slaves. No. Allah is chastising them.
Right.
This whole burning of the Quran was very disrespectful. But why is Allah causing all this to come down? Who would ever think in their lifetime that they would hear someone say they were going to burn someone else's holy books?
Yeah.
Wow.
And nobody is there. Let me tell you about the fight. Who said, okay, go ahead. You strike the match first and see them I burn some Bibles. You know understand what I'm saying? Why did Allah cause this to exist? Because Allah is trying to show you that Islam has failed.
Yeah.
It has fell. It ain't falling. Because see, we used to say it's falling. It has fell.
It's fell. And you know, a sad thing that the Arabs have allowed the keepers of the book. They have allowed mistranslations to be put in the Holy Quran. Yeah. They have allowed this noble Quran to be produced and other Qurans that's just as despicable as the noble Quran to intermix man's words and man's books inside the pages, not just the pages, but intermixed in the letters of the Quran, of the Holy Lord's words. And people run around here reading Hadith thinking they reading Quran because it says noble Quran. You know, not complete Quran or true Quran, but holy Quran. They say the noble Quran because they know, the Arabs know that this Quran is fictitious. And it's designed to take people into nationalism, nationhood, fighting a war for them, which Allah did not send us down or send his word down so that we can make war in his name, so that we can gain property and power and riches and things of that nature. This why people say Islam is the religion of peace, because Allah sent it down so that we would know peace and harmony. We would know the way to wisdom, which it is the wise, which gives wisdom and protection and gives harmony and peace to you if you accept it. But you know, this thing that you made mention about Elijah and Malachi, this is another thing that when Ahezaah speaks, when Allah speaks, you know, you have to many times watch to see what it's talking about. And people want to act as though they know. Allah tells me things and I'm his messenger. And I could ponder and think it's talking about one thing and find out, oh, it's talking about that, something deeper, something else, you know. When Allah said that he would draw the hearts of the fathers back to the sons and the sons to the father, Allah didn't mention the mother, did it?
No.
Or the sisters, right? The daughters.
No.
So in speaking in the infinite way that it speaks, the eternal wise way that it speaks, what father did it turn them hearts back to? Because Elijah turned many hearts of the fathers and sons back together. You know, men start respecting their family. The family members start respecting their fathers when they rose up. But was that really the father and the son that Allah was talking about? Allah was talking about Ahezaah, the father of all creation. Elijah turned us back to Allah. We knew nothing about Allah. We knew about pork and ribs and chitlins and all that. And the master, the Caucasian master, and Jesus being Christ, our Savior.
Looking like a hippie on the cross.
Yeah, looking like a hippie on the cross and a lot of other things. But we didn't know nothing about Allah. And Elijah came, and Allah, through Elijah, turned our hearts back to it so that we would know. Now, them demonic Arabs, they seen us as a tool. And because our people want to be the slaves of Caucasians so bad, and I'm not a racist, but I am not a slave lover. I'm not advocating or inclined to be a slave to anybody. They're using our people as a thorn in the side of this government, in the side of this country. Brothers, I want to say this to you all. You know, I love the thought of, you know, our people having some mind about Allah and everything, but you have been, like Malcolm said, bamboozled, the hoodwinked, and all that other stuff they be talking about. Because them Arabs got you trying to tear down your own house just to get an enemy out of your lives, when Allah is right here for everybody. You can find the Savior from within yourself if you follow the tenets of the truth that they have misconstrued in the name of Islam. You ain't got to go to no Arabs who claim they own the book. They the masters of the book. They got the greatest minds because they can remember the book. Do they understand the book? Do they fear the writer of the book? Do they respect the owner of the book? If so, how could they let the book become desecrated? Why would Allah send a word down today to tell us, protect the authentic Quran that came down in Arabic? Even if we don't know it, protect it, put it somewhere, hide it for some reason. But I know that I protect in my heart the truth of it. And I look to Ahezaah for the truth of it. And I'm not going to tear down, I'm not going to go against the divine words of the Lord where it says that you should not do harm to an innocent person. Fight against those who fight against you. Just because these devils over here in the United States of America bomb your country and kill up all your people, you shouldn't come over here and bomb up these innocent people. Many of them people died in that World Trade Center. Was not about war, was not about hating Muslims, was not about hating Christians, was not about any of that stuff. Many of them were. But it's wrong for us to destroy a whole nation trying to get a few people. If the Muslims would have stayed right with Ahezaah, Allah, and not companion with the Knights Temple and all them people who was running around the land taking over the Palestinians or the Philistines or Jerusalem and doing all kind of stuff, stealing treasures and you know, and doing all the things they was doing with them and desecrating Muhammad's words, this thing wouldn't be like it is today. You know? Now I got people, I was talking to a brother and we was cool until I said something about the Arabs. And this nigga, and I say nigga, he's black as your shirt. And well, let me not say that because you got Arabs as black as that shirt. A lot of people don't realize, they think Arabs is just Aryan, but no. You got Arabs that's dark just as us, you know. But Egyptian Arabs and Sudanese Arabs and all kinds of Arabs, you know. But the thing about it is, when I mentioned that, he said, I can't talk to you no more because you done said something about the Arabs. Oh, I can't hear you no more, brother. I said, I'm talking about the truth. I'm talking about Allah and Islam. Nah, you said something about the Arabs. Now, he worshiping the Arabs. That's the new master. For many of them, they try to dress like what they think they dress like. They tell them, well, Muhammad dressed like this, but they don't dress like that. And then the brothers be running around here looking like clowns, painting their beards and raising their pants up. You know, it can be, I've seen them out there, man, in cold winter, man. You know, we don't like no cold. And they got their pants up, legs out, and everything, man. Then you see some of them, you talking about women naked underneath. You got some brothers running around there with those, what you call them things, jalabis, with no clothes under them. You know, I mean, come on. Drawers and panties was invented for a reason. You know? We need to think about some of that stuff, man. We need to use at least common sense, a little above common sense.
Airman in his storefront with a suit and tie on.
And Arab in the store with suit and tie and got money.
Yeah.
And we out trying to be like Muhammad pushing carts, talking about peddling. Huh?
Yeah. Yes. We talk about
Muhammad, they forget that Muhammad, before he died, Muhammad was a rich man. They forget that. They forget forget that his wife Khadijah made him filthy rich. Muhammad wasn't out there with the buggy. Now I heard Saddam gave up his riches and went out there and got like that. But Muhammad didn't. You ain't got no stories about Muhammad out there doing that after he married Khadijah.
And not like we got something against vendors. Right. My whole thing is, I've known that Newark was at one time was black business all over. Now you can't find them. Now you can't.
Newark was a Muslim town. They made sure they got rid of Muslims. They made sure they corrupted Islam. They made sure they put drugs and guns and everything else in here so that the Muslims, the greatest threat in the nation, in Newark, will be demolished. Philly became more of a threat to them than Newark. Because, see, Elijah was deep in Newark. And Elijah straightened these brothers out. And they was about being intelligent. Not going to bomb people and stuff, but being intelligent. You understand? That's a greater threat than going to bomb somebody. To the Caucasian, to the jinn, you see how they killed up them Black Panthers because what? Because they was carrying guns? No! Because they was talking about educate. Educate yourself. They said, these niggas want to educate? We got to kill these niggas. And they went shooting them up in their houses, agents of the government, shooting them up in their houses with their children, pregnant wives, and everything else, and they kill them all. And then they want to go and find the Black Messiah. And what this guy, the FBI said, well, I've been trying to kill the Black Messiah.
J.
Edgar Hoover. Been trying to kill the Black Messiah. They've been trying to kill me. Now I'm here and my own people don't know, can't even see me. They looking for Jesus. Well, the Christ is with me.
Let me tell you something. Jesus, that picture they got hanging up in the church.
Which one? Because in Puerto Rico, he's Spanish. In Portugal, he's white. In Spain, he's Spanish.
But in
some places in the United States, he's black. And some places in Africa, he's black. But mostly, he's a Caucasian with stringy hair. And I'm like, if you put that on a sheep probably be running from itself. What is that on me?
No, you know me. I just got an imagination.
That was imaginative.
Where all the black people be in church singing and carrying on, and then all of a sudden the door opens, they got that picture of Jesus, and then the white guy coming there floating in the air. I guarantee you they be out there.
I bet, but while they were in church,
I know black people, they be like, trust me, won't be nothing up in that doggone church.
We're in church, but they were sleeping on the fact that Elijah was prophesied in the books of the Bible, asked of Jesus, asked both of John. It was coming. Muhammad never made the claim to be Elijah.
Jesus and John was asked about them being Elijah, and what that did historically was to let the people know that Elijah was yet to come, that Elijah hadn't come. You see, and some people thought it was the Elijah of old. Ahezaah never informed me whether that was a resurrection of Elijah, but it informed me about myself and manifested to me my past life as being Samuel, the line of so-called Judah, the Judaized people. And in the book of Revelation, it clearly tells you the line of Judah, the strength of El. That's what Samuel means. And they changed the name, the meaning of the strength of El. They changed the name Samuel to mean Allah has heard, God has heard. What the hell is that? When samurai means strength, Sami is hearing and strength. Well, they know it's strength, but they changed it to hearing so it would coincide. The Arabs did it. So it would coincide with don't listen to Samuel when he comes. You see? But them Jews, the Hebrews, they all know that Samuel was supposed to return. They know the history of Samuel.
Just like they knew Elijah.
That's right. And just like a lot of them will tell you, they know that the people who was the new people were supposed to come in this New York area. They know that. That's why they come looking.
Thing on the History Channel about Nostradamus prophesied. It'll come on some 40th latitude or something.
Where we live at.
Yeah, and they say it's go right through North.
Right through North, where we live at. Where I was born and raised. But the thing about it is They don't want to recognize. We had the people from the Ahmadiyya that represented the East Coast. The Prince from Washington sent them here back in the 90s. And because they recognized what I was saying. They got here and found it was an African American and one no Indian and one no damn Caucasian. They kind of like, whoa, wait a minute.
They're lying.
We can't. And they came with about 21 questions. And after I start asking them questions and giving them the answers to the questions they had in their pockets, they pulled their questions out and said, we don't need these. You didn't answer and ask us questions, and I asked them more questions than they had. Let me pose this to you about what you should be asking me. You know what I'm saying? Let's be for real. And then when I showed them Ahezaah's name on me, all the signs on me, they were like, well, okay. When Allah talked to you, how is it? And I'm sitting up here and I'm like, well, Allah's talking to me now. And that's when they could not believe at all. See, I was supposed to be, Allah said. See, I'm supposed to be going through some commotions, but the thing about it is when Muhammad came into contact with Gabriel, he freaked out. And he had trouble. When Allah spoke to him, which they don't say Allah spoke to him, he had trouble. Just like I had trouble. I was going off. A lot of things happened to me every time Allah came. But then Allah cooled me and gave me comfort and held me gently and compassionately and intimately. Now it speaks to me continuously. What kind of human being would I be if Allah guides me continuously and I had to go through commotions of that first intervention or that intertwining? I would be a wreck. They say, see, he belongs in an insane asylum. You see, Allah is the unseen, and it has the ability to speak to me while it's speaking through me. You feel me? It don't have to show you no physical signs of me going through changes. But then I told them about all the signs in the book of Revelation and showed them the signs in the book of Revelation, but that still wasn't good enough for them.
And plus you wasn't the right color.
Well, that was the main thing. I wasn't the right color. I wasn't the right nationality.
The one that was most
adamant and hateful was the African American that came with him. Yeah. How dare you?
Well, you gotta understand he wanted to be an Indian like that.
Yeah, he wanted to be one of them.
Because it's our people that come against us hard with a clique of another race of people.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm always prepared.
Oh, yeah, our people hate themselves for the Caucasian more than the Caucasian hate us. Our people, I changed my name a number of times, but when I first changed it from Samuel to Deen, to Saleem, the Caucasians that I work with, they bowed, they opened up. It's like the Reed Sea Party. My people went to war against me.
I can't pronounce that.
I had a doctor literally tell me once she found out my name was Deen, she went to say, I can't say that. I said, don't you tell me you can't say Deen. Because you found out that I said Deen in Arabic instead of the D-E-A-N. You can't say it. And she had this kind of like smile embarrassingly. She was a professional. She was a doctor at the university. And they got deans, this is a university, they got deans all over the place. And she was trying to say, I can't say Deen. No, you can't, because your devil don't want you to say Deen. Allah gave me the easiest name in the world to say, Deen. Had a brother who, jailer, came out of jail, was supposed to beat me up. Said I had took his family and turned him and what have you. And when he found out that I was like him at one time in my life, probably a greater reflection of what he wanted to be, he kind of like, he chumped out, and then he told his son, don't call him Holy Apostle Deen. And his son said, but that's his name. He said, no, don't call him that. That ain't it. He said, yes, it is. He said, it ain't his name. He said, it's on his license. You know, if he was to say that to me, I said, okay, don't call me, you ain't got to call me Holy Apostle. Then call me Mr. Saleem. If that will you prefer that? Mr. Saleem. Because if you call me Saleem, Mr. supposed to come first by y'all language, you know, so call out Mr. Saleem. And it's cool.
I'm going through that a little bit at home. You know, I said, my wife just had a baby, A.H.A.D, and you know, her family on her side, they still can't get any part of the name right, and they're upset with her because they didn't name her. Her mother said
Ruby or Jane or Peaches or Bridget.
Yeah, right. She gonna get mad at her. Said you didn't help. I didn't have any input on the baby naming process, so she's upset with my wife or whatever. But
the mother,
this nonsense. Yeah, it's because she doesn't agree with the name.
Yeah, she said she's the most recent person that said we got a cult going on. They don't know what a cult is. You know,
black people, they say things.
Yeah, what they hear, whatever they hear. She said she told his wife that I should mind my business, and he informed her that he asked me to name it, but I told him I don't name no children. If Ahezaah give me a name for it, I will give him the name. Rather, she could bear witness. The Lord wrote that name on my leg, didn't it? Mm-hmm. And printed it on my leg. I said, oh, this is their name on my right leg. My thigh. And so I passed off that name to you the next day. But she said he need to mind his business. And I'm like, wait a minute. Didn't I name her daughter? I named your wife. I've been around that long. So now I gotta mind, I'm still her uncle. It's part of my business too, ain't it? I'm in the family. Huh? Hey, if it weren't for my father, it wouldn't be no grandbaby at all. Because he produced my brother. So how she gonna tell me to mind my business? You know, I hope she get this show, but she won't. It's too much above her head, you know. They might be showing it in the bar though, right? She might catch it in the bar between social drinks.
Social drinks.
Let me not do that. Strike that. I did not say that, Bridget. Oh, I called her name. Bridget Kirkland.
Free advertising.
Yeah. Sue me for one of my kids. Matter of fact, sue me for the first 4 of them. You can have them for cheap.
Anyway, let's get back on track here.
I'm on track.
People say about the religions being cults, like you know, like you were talking about how the Catholic Church was taken over by the Romans, who were sun worshippers. You know, they had a lot of revolts going after Jesus' and the crucifixion. So
and they started that thing with Paul. See, they gave Paul permission to lead the Christians, the so-called Christians, and they created Christianity 300 years after Jesus. But he gave a word to act as though he was enlightened. And they said anybody listen to Paul, they cool. But if you listen to John or you try to follow Jesus, well, we're gonna kill you. And they were beheading people and slaughtering people, man, and people were afraid. They were still having that war with the Essenes, those people who they killed on the mount, where they found the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Where Jesus came from.
Yeah, they killed this family,
And that's such
we gotta go.
Want to do things right, to keep up with keeping your lives tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right?